Hello, I'm Jake Allen. This is my review on the Star Wars sequel trilogy. From The Force Awakens to The Rise of Skywalker. I give this all three movies of the Star Wars trilogy a 8 out of 10, each three movies. I give all movies in this trilogy a 8 out of 10 for mediocre score it gets for me. It's pretty average of a trilogy. These movies are. These movies kind of suck for Star Wars standards and like pretty mediocre for your standard blockbuster movies since the 2010s has came and gone. And this franchise started in the 2010s and it ended in, I think, 2019 or 2020 is when The Rise of Skywalker came out. And the first one came out in 2015 or 14, the earlier 2010s phases of the 2010. And I guess that's my biggest problem with the Star Wars trilogy. It feels like a movie of its time. Each three installments feel like your standard blockbuster movies that you would find often becoming popular in the 2010s era. And that would be mostly thanks to lots of stuff in the 2010s era being Marvel stuff being successful, I think. In the 2010s era, mostly Marvel, a lot of Marvel MCU stuff was successful in that area of 2010. Come to think of it, I think. And I think, I can't help but feel like I think the Star Wars trilogy feels heavily inspired by the MCU formula that they've been cracking since day one with the first phase of Iron Man 1 from 2008. Is what the Star Wars trilogy feels like it's taken lots of inspiration by. And by that, I mean all of the best and worst ideas that Marvel has, you would expect Marvel to pull. Like, take something cool, but then play it for a joke. Take something cool, like an iconic character, make him look like an idiot. To play for a joke or for drama or shits and giggles, whatever. And that's what this movie is full of. That movie. That's what this trilogy is full of. It's full of those tropes that you would become accustomed to by the 2010s era. After back in the 2010s, before the 2010s were over, so yeah, that's my biggest problem with the Star Wars trilogy. I feel like I didn't might not ever liked everything George Lucas did when he was behind the wheel. His creative vision was behind the wheel. Where his creative vision was behind the wheel when he had the rights to the Star Wars and doing everything with Star Wars. I might not have really got everything he was doing, but I felt like he had like a vision and knew what he was doing. Even I probably never always got it with George Lucas when he had the rights to the Star Wars before he sold it to Disney and that's how we got this trilogy. Thanks, Disney, for making underwhelming franchise. That's a 8 out of 10, and well, for some, it has kind of put a bad taste in for some people on the internet. It's kind of tanking the Star Wars brand for them. And honestly, to me, I think Star Wars tank was The Force Awakens, and just continued to tank in terms of each installment with this trilogy. You know, what's the story? It's just, the story was, the story often likes to, it likes to destroy audience expectation in the trilogy a lot by basically, if you're a fan of the older Star Wars movies, then it's going to have some way to disappoint you. It's like, you know, if you're a fan of the older Star Wars movie, like the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy, I feel like this movie is just going to, this trilogy is going to find a way just to let you down in more ways than one. It's one of those franchise. So basically, it's like the Star Wars Christmas special, but if it got 2 sequels. And if they made a franchise out of it, the Star Wars Christmas special. Remember the Star Wars Christmas special that I reviewed on my channel? That's the one where the Ewokies are the main characters, and Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo is trying to get Jabba the Hutt home for his family Christmas celebration. But I forget what they call it in the contest holiday special. It's called something else, a made-up word. And there's no subtitles for. And you can't, there's no subtitles in that special, and you can't understand a single thing what the Wookiees are saying. And that's majority of the film. Isn't that great? You think like someone make 2 sequels to the Star Wars to that Star Wars special, but instead we just got something like we just got a different Star Wars trilogy. That's kind of on the same level of quality standards of the Star Wars Holiday Special, this trilogy to me. I like this trilogy as an 8 out of 10 as much as I like the Star Wars Holiday Special from back in the day. Released back in the day. That's where the original cast is in the... from the original trilogy is in the holiday special in live action, and that's where Boba Fett made a cameo in cartoon form in that special. This basically feels like, this trilogy feels like the poor unintentional execution that was probably for better was probably or probably not meant to be a comedy. Because and also the stories they tell don't really add up. They don't really connect at all. They don't really build on each other. I feel like the stories didn't. That's not a problem I have with this trilogy. The stories don't really build on each other at all. The more think of the more you like, the more for each one, each installment. Once you get to like for each installment, feels like its own contained separate story, and neither one know how to build on each other or know how to make them connect. So it kind of took the MCU approach of making things build on each other by not knowing how to do that, is what it feels like. Inspired by the MCU formula known as Marvel Cinematic Studios. You know, this is the ones that are from the main timeline of the MCU. Is the ones I'm talking about, releasing their movies. Theaters. It feels like it does as good a job as Marvel. You know how like, I personally feel like Marvel has been struggling to connect their movies and building on them on top of each other since the finale of I feel like since it seems like after the finale of Phase 1 of the first Avengers movie from 2012, it feels like Marvel doesn't know how to tell a story and make any of the movies build on each other. So I feel like this movie, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, took inspiration from Marvel's brilliant inconsistency with making money by not adding consistency and by not adding consistent world building and connecting movies together well at all. That's just what I feel what this Star Wars trilogy has taken inspiration by. The interesting fact, Marvel is also owned by Disney Studios too. The Marvel movies. That explains so much why this movie turned out, these trilogies turn out the way they did. Is what I think about the Star Wars trilogy with Rey. The sequel trilogy to Star Wars is why I give it an 8 out of 10. It is mediocre popcorn film. It's this mediocre popcorn movie. All three of them in this saga of the new Star Wars trilogy. I do not recommend this movie, but it's not terrible. These movies aren't by any means. It's not a... What's the word I'm looking for? They're not my favorite, any of them. Is what I think of this trilogy with Rey, with the Disney Star Wars trilogy with Rey Skywalker. Yes, that she was the Rey character. That even though she's a Palpatine, and the third one, she changed her name to Skywalker because she just doesn't like Palpatine name and like Skywalker more. I guess. Don't know. That's the best guess I got, as is explained vaguely in the movie of Rise of Skywalker, third installment of the trilogy. So this trilogy was a mess, I thought, but it was fun at times. Has moments here and there with the action. The sci-fi cool action ideas they had going for it. Anyway, that's why I give Star Wars trilogy with Rey character a 8 out of 10. Okay, my audience? That's my review on the Star Wars sequel trilogy from 2015 to 2020, I think, is when it ended. Ended with the Rise of Skywalker and began with the Force Awakens. Then died with the Rise of Skywalker. Thank God it ended. Because I did not think this was good enough to make us... This trilogy I think, shouldn't have been made. And probably didn't need to exist. Is what I think about this. Other than to make money. A shitload of money off of you suckers. And people who have seen, anyone who has seen this movie, is meant to make money in us into suckers, this movie. Because I'm pretty sure this movie is mediocre and I'm pretty sure whoever wrote the script didn't really put much effort into it. In fact, I think they put the bare minimum effort into it. It's all three of them, I think. This is a guess of mine. So, is what it feels like, you know, after seeing these movies. So, is why I give them an 8 out of 10. That's my review on the Star Wars sequel trilogy from Disney's Star Wars sequel trilogy, released by Disney Studios. And I enjoy these movies as a standard, mediocre, forgettable movie. I wouldn't see that often, but every now and then, you know. So it's one of those movies, you know. All three of them are in the Disney trilogy of Star Wars, is what I think. So that's why I give them an 8 out of 10. Okay, I'm Jake Allen. Okay, that's my review of Star Wars Trilogy, my audience. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm Jake Allen Graham. And before I go, I want you to hit the subscribe button to grow my subscribers, and hit the thumbs up to like this video. And hit the comment section below to let me know if you saw this video of this review. Okay, if you liked it or not, so it's just, or whatever. You gotta say, so. I'm trying to think if that's all I gotta say. Well, if I'm forgetting something. Yeah, that's it. I'm just looking for the off button now. Bye.